If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Fabio Cherant joining the program as he gets ready to take on Alexsa Camur in the headliner of Dana White's Contender Series on July 30th. Fabio, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, enjoying myself, training, just doing what I need to do, relaxing right now, getting ready to head out in a few to go train. But that's basically it for me right now.
It's great.
How about yourself?
Yeah, it's great to chat with another Massachusetts guy. So this is great, and thank you for joining. How's everything going in preparation for this one? This fight is still a few weeks away, but how's everything coming together for you as you prepare to head out to Vegas?
It's coming along pretty well. Right now just everything's lining up, and only thing left to do is just for me to just move strategically and just play my cards right. I've had a great camp so far, and I've had 4 months to prepare for it, so it was a little tough at first trying to find a happy median of not overdoing it and killing my body and training and still getting work, but now it's 20 days out, it's go time, and now it's just mentally processing everything and just getting ready to go.
You seem very, very collected in this moment right now. Obviously, you have a huge fight coming up in a couple weeks. Is time going super slow for you right now in that sense? Because I know the fight's 3 weeks away, the Contender Series, the season's kind of flowing by. We had a historic night last night. Is time going really slow right now?
Yes and no, because like I said, I've been 4 months, and at first I was like, damn, man, why is it so far away? I was like, I wish I was fighting on one of the earlier weeks, and then all of a sudden it's boom, whoa, we're 20 days out. So it's now it's starting to move a little faster, and it's awesome.
How did this crazy MMA world begin for you? You're 24 years old. You made your amateur debut a little more than 3 years ago for Cage Titans, and now you're getting ready to fight on the Contender Series. This happened really quickly for you, man. But what got you into the sport? What got you into the gym for the first time? How did that all play out for you?
So I initially liked the sport because when I was younger, me and my brothers would have those Walmart brand MMA gloves you get, and we would just strap those on and go in the backyard or in the basement and just beat the crap out of each other. And then later on, my foster dad got me the UFC Undisputed game, and started playing it and just intrigued. And then from there I started looking it up, and then the very first MMA fight I ever saw was Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson, when Dan Henderson dropped the H-bomb on him, and then Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner. From there, I was just like, you know what? One day I would like to give this a try and see what it's like. And after I graduated high school, I joined the military and came back from basic. I was a reservist, so I was home not doing much, And on my 21st birthday, my buddies, we went out somewhere and we saw this guy who was actually on The Ultimate Fighter, Pat Walsh, and my buddy was a huge MMA geek, He's like, that guy looks so familiar. He looks so familiar. He went up to him and asked him, and started asking him a bunch of questions, and finally he was like, yeah, I was on The Ultimate Fighter and all this stuff. And he invited us to his gym. He probably didn't think we were being serious, because a lot of people hit me up oh, how'd you get into it? How do I start? And then they never follow up. And we just showed up, and it kind of just started off as a hobby, And then the more and more I started doing it, the coaches are showing me a lot of attention. They're like, hey man, you should really try it out. You're pretty talented. You might as well do it. What do you have to lose? And after a month and a half, I was getting ready for my first amateur fight.
Man.
So, yeah.
That's crazy. I'm sure you getting back from basic and and training with Pat and those group of guys over there. I'm sure once you got back to any military commitments you had to do and you were rolling around doing combatives and stuff like that, probably gave you a little bit more of an edge, right?
I only did combatives in basic training, and it was like all that stuff was pretty easy. It's kind of a joke, to be honest, but yeah, no, it was pretty easy. But I wish I did more of it once I started learning, But it's whatever, it's. I think this was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, was doing this right here. It's helped me out so much, like with mental aspect, physically, and I'm just blessed to be where I am right now.
When you say it's helped you, what do you think has changed more, like the most about you since you started training to where you're at right now, you think?
Physicality has changed, but like my mental game was always like, I was always the type of kid that I always go into everything hoping for the best, expect the worst. And so if I try something out, I give it my all. It doesn't work out, but and I'm not going to dwell on anything. And doing this made me realize more, because when I first started, I was one of those. I was coming from football, so I had that attitude oh, I'm a bad dude and all this stuff like that. And then I got subbed by a 125-pounder, and I was like, wow, I'm a bitch, And from there, man, it humbled me and made me realize, man, there's always somebody around the corner that can shut you down, and it's a beautiful sport. It really is.
Cage Titans is where it all started for you as an amateur. That organization has produced a ton of talent in New England. Some of those professionals have gone to the UFC. And then once you turn pro, CES has been where you spent all of your time. And they've also been a very valuable platform for the region in terms of getting folks to the UFC and Bellator and places like that. What kinds of things have you learned competing for the Cage Titans of the world, the CES of the world, that they're going to get you ready for July 30th?
What did I learn? I learned really quick how to. At first, it was tough, because I'm still a virgin in this sport. I've been doing this for 3 years, and everything happened so fast. But from my first fight to now, I went from paying attention to everything to just being in the cage and just focusing on who's in front of me. Before, I would hear people in the crowd screaming stuff, and it'd get in my head. I'd be like, oh, and as fights went on, it just got better. I'd be focused more, could listen to my corners, and going from Cage Titans to CES, it was just evolving in a way, going from the Cage Titans crowd to the CES crowd. It's tough to explain, but the process itself, it's been amazing. I've always gotten a lot of love from both promotions I fought for. They took good care of me, and now it's time to go out there and show people that we have a lot of talent coming up, and I'm just one of them,
Of course. I mean, we saw on the first episode a New England guy, Yorgan de Castro. He got himself a contract. He's on his way to the UFC. In fact, he's already got his first fight booked for later on this year.
Yes, he does.
How much did that fire you up to see him perform the way he did, to earn that contract? How much did that motivate you to see that?
It motivated me a lot, because me and Yorgan, we go way back. We train together. We're teammates and stuff like that, So, from the jump, me and him, we both went pro right around the same time, and kind of just we both fought basically on the same card, and then just kind of grew together, and to see him get it was just this is possible, we're just well, he's not small, but we're just some small town kids trying to make a name for ourselves, and not look at what he did, man. He has the opportunity to, and it's just awesome to see, you know.
And now you get Alexsa Camur. He's an Ohio guy. He's trained with the likes of Stipe Miocic. He's a very powerful guy. He's also 4-0 as a pro. Did you know much about him when you got the call that you're going to be fighting him?
No, not really. So I was supposed to fight back in March, and my opponent, some stuff happened with my opponent. Things didn't work out the way I wanted to, and huge shout out to my manager, Jason House. He hit me up and was like, look, just relax, take it easy, and we're going to take care of you. And like within 2 days, I got a text message with opponent, date, weight, and I was like, let's go. You know, I didn't think twice. And then from there, I obviously looked them up, and you know, I couldn't have asked for a better opponent to do this.
Yeah, he's finished all of his fights with strikes. You finished all your fights by submission, and something's got to give on July 30th, right? Like, is there any way that this fight goes to the judges' scorecards in a couple of weeks?
You know, it's MMA. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But I'm not good at predictions. Every time I've made a prediction, never gone my way. Like, look at all my previous interviews. Like, I'm going to get the knockout this fight. Nope. I'm going to get the knockout this fight. Nope. You know, and it's awesome because, like, how do you get prepared for somebody that you think is a grappler but is not a grappler? And, you know, but I like it. You know, it's fun. It's gonna be just chess moves. Who's gonna make the better move? If it goes to the judges, it goes to the judges. But I don't think this fight will go to the judges.
I'm sure you watch Yorgan's fight. Obviously, you watch Yorgan's fight because it was a big one as your teammate. Have you been a fan of the Contender series over the last couple of years, or just really watch the season at all? Like, how's that been for you?
I have been, because I've had teammates fight since the first season, so it's something I've just been paying attention to, because, you know, I think it's better than the Ultimate Fighter, and it's produced a lot of stars. You know, look at the roster that have come from there. Like, they've got a lot of big names, and hopefully I will be one of those next guys, you know, to make the come up.
Dana White has sort of laid out the criteria, and even on Yorgan's episode, you know, everyone thought Brendan Loughnane deserved a contract. He didn't get it, and Dana kind of gave his explanation. Like, you don't go out and shoot for a takedown with 10 seconds left in the fight. Like, I want killers. I want exciting guys who are going to go for the finish at all times, and it's his show, and he can, you know, use his criteria however he likes to see fit. But, you know, he gave out 5 contracts last night. Knowing what he's looking for and hearing what he has to say after all these shows before he awards these contracts, does that kind of affect your approach at all, or does that sort of feed into your approach?
No. Like, this is all experience. Like, this is all a learning experience for me. Like I said before, I'm still new to this. I've been doing it for 3 years, so every step of the way is just a learning process, you know. And I'm taking into consideration what he said. I know what I have to do. I gotta impress the bosses, and but at the end of the day, I like to keep my game plan and my fighting style. I like to stay cool, calm, collected, and if I see opportunity, I take opportunity. You know, so like I don't know. It's weird. I can't really explain how I feel towards that, but all I know is I'm not going to let that affect me too much. I'm going to do my thing, and hopefully that impresses them.
If all goes well on July 30th and all goes the way you hope it will on July 30th, it's a perfect night. You get the win, you get the finish, you get the contract. What will getting that UFC contract mean to you?
It'll mean a lot to me, and just for the simple reason, like I see a lot of guys on the Ultimate Fighter, Contender series, all of them plead the same case. Oh, they're here to be the best. They're here to do this. They're here to do that. But, like, for my purpose, man, I'm just the kid that came from nothing, that is just trying to show kids that probably grew up the same way I did, that were told growing up they weren't big enough, they weren't athletic, they couldn't do it, you know, that they can, you know, put your mind to it, set a goal that you can do it. And watch it happen. You know, like I can't tell you the amount of times somebody's told me I can't do something, and I've gone out and done it. People told me I wouldn't last a day at basic training. I went in, I graduated, was in the military. People told me I wouldn't even be able to fight. Look at where I'm at now, you know. So it's just I'm just trying to inspire others to go for what they want in life. You know, never settle, because settling is easy way out.
Well said. Fabio Cherant joining us in the program as he gets ready to take on Alexsa Camur July 30th on Dana White's Contender Series. Fabio, thank you for the time. It was great catching up with you for the first time. Before we get out of here, let the folks know where to find and follow you on the web, any social media things, any shout-out sponsors. The floor is yours.
Follow me on Instagram, Buffalo MMA 8, same as Twitter, and just want to shout out to all my teammates, coaches that have helped me through this process and to getting me to this spot right here. And my manager, Jason House, without him, this wouldn't be possible, you know?
All the best to you, Fabio. Appreciate the time and look forward to seeing you in the cage July 30th on ESPN+.
Thank you very much.